If you are thinking of moving or visiting somewhere warm, a tropical climate, someplace that's very humid, here are some things to know before you go.
Hello, hola, it's Yonny and Kayla. Hola, hello from the DR of Buffalo.
Let's talk about the humidity. So I moved to the Dominican Republic in 2020. I came from Buffalo, New York. So I pretty much had no experience with the heat and the humidity because even in the summer in Buffalo, I'm cold. So once I moved to the Dominican Republic, there was a lot that I didn't expect and a lot of things that I didn't realize happen when you live by the ocean or you live in a tropical climate where it's humid and there's salt water in the air and everything like that. So today I'm going to go over 10 ways that I deal with the humidity living in the Dominican Republic. It just sort of requires a lot of maintenance, I guess. So the humidity in the Dominican Republic in the summer gets to 90%. So a lot of things are going to damage quickly. Number one, metal needs to be painted regularly because it rusts, but also just things in general need to be painted. A lot of people paint their houses every year in the winter because the paint just doesn't stay. It's so hot that you just kind of have to regularly repaint. The metal on our gate on our porch is starting to peel off. Some of the paint on our walls is starting to peel off, so it just requires regular upkeep. Number two, apartments and houses must be deep cleaned regularly because mold does grow on the walls. And if you get an air conditioner, that does help with the mold, but then the air conditioner will also get mold inside of it, and then that has to be cleaned as well. So there are a lot of people who are in the Dominican Republic, but they travel back and forth between the United States and here. So they're gone for weeks or months at a time. And when they come back, they just kind of have to wipe down all the walls, get rid of all the mold, and then also clean out the air conditioner because that will get moldy as well. But it's super cheap to clean the air conditioner. There's a guy who comes and does it for some people that we know because we don't have an air conditioner. But for them, it's about 1,000 pesos for the guy to come and clean it. Number three, we regularly use our clothes and towels because if we let them sit too long, they'll kind of get mold on them or they'll get weird like stuff on them. I don't know if it's mold, but they'll get like white patches. I guess that's mold. I don't know. But if we let the clothes, certain materials sit too long, then they'll get moldy. Also, we keep our towels in a box, like a plastic box, storage box for the towels. But if I don't use them regularly, then they'll start to smell because it's just so hot and humid that things just smell weird after a while. But if my clothes are sitting that long anyway, then I should probably just get rid of them because that means I don't wear them. Number four, you can tell that books and papers have been in the humidity or in the heat too long because they'll like get yellow and then the ink will start to fade. I don't know why I kept all my receipts, but in Buffalo, I had like a box of receipts that I would keep and I kept them for like 2 to 3 to 4 years because I just never went through them. But here, if I have a receipt and I put it somewhere, 2 weeks later, the ink will have disappeared completely. Like the ink has just faded completely off it because it's just so hot and humid. I personally got a Kindle and I scanned all my books to my Google Drive. So before I came here, I had all my textbooks, all my books that I wanted to bring with me for teaching. I ripped out all the pages and I went to the library and I scanned them all and I put them on my Google Drive. So I didn't bring any books with me to the Dominican Republic. And whenever we want books, we buy them on Kindle and we'll read that way. So most of the books that we have are on Kindle. They're electronic, so that way they're not damaged. However, I did buy several boxes from Walmart and I brought them with me. So they're special boxes with like a blue protection around the rim of the top, and it's specifically for humidity, so it protects them. So if we do have papers or things like that that we want protected, I put them in those boxes and they've been okay so far. I've been here for 3 years, almost 3 years now. and those boxes have been good. Number 5, we buy things as needed and we don't really stock up on things because our apartment doesn't have air conditioning, and so things do damage a lot faster. So in Buffalo, I had like a stash of batteries because you buy them in bulk and then they're so cheap. So I would just buy batteries in bulk and then I'd use them, and I'd have them for a year and then I'd use them all and they wouldn't damage or anything. But in the Dominican Republic, it is too humid for that. And actually our camera was damaged, so we used to record on a camera. I brought a camera with me. However, I put it in the case and I put it in a drawer in my bedroom for like a week or 2 weeks. And when I went to take it out, the batteries in the camera had like leaked and the acid went all over the camera. And so that is completely damaged. We can't use the camera anymore. Batteries definitely damage quickly. So now I take the batteries out of things if I'm not using them, or I'll just buy batteries as we need them, and I won't keep a stash in the closet anymore. Number 6, we keep our food in special containers with a special seal around it to keep it from the heat, protect it from the heat. And also I keep all of my spices in the fridge, and we keep all of our medicine in the fridge. So that is not outside. That does not get exposed to the heat. Number 7, Mariano and I try to avoid buying things that are made of wood because for some reason we had a bed and it was made of wood, but mold was growing on it and it would get damp and it like turned green. And I don't know if it was just because it was a certain kind of wood and it wasn't protected. We bought like protection and we sprayed it and painted it and it didn't help at all. But also we had termites at that apartment, and that was also a problem with the wood. So we just try to avoid wood in general, unless it's the kind of wood that's like fake wood, because we have a table, our kitchen table we got from IKEA, and it's not real wood, it's fake wood, and that's fine. But we try to avoid wood as much as possible because termites are a real problem. And also just because of the heat. Wood does not do well in the heat. Number 8. In order to keep our apartment fresh, we always have the windows open, except when it's raining. We also got a ceiling fan, which has helped a ton with the air circulation and everything because the floor fans were not really working. So ceiling fans helped a ton, but I also heard that some plants help with the humidity, and so maybe we just need to get some plants. All right, so the last 2 are, for me personally, what I've done to adjust. So number 9, I wear very loose clothing. So I was wearing like tight jeans and leggings when I first came here, and I would get major heat rash. Like I would get little spots all over my legs. They would fill up with white stuff, and then they would just hurt so bad, and then they would scar. So I avoid tight clothing, and I have not had a problem since then. I got all my pants that are loose now for work and just in general. I got rid of all my tight clothes. I gave them all away, and now it's been so much better. My skin can breathe, and it's so much nicer. And number 10, I got rid of everything that I was using on my body that was super liquidy or like oily. So I was using the gel deodorant that wasn't like the white deodorant, and it was too wet in my armpits, and I was actually getting bacteria. Like bacteria was growing, and I was having a problem with that. And then also just lotions, like oily lotions, were really irritating my skin. So my skin couldn't breathe, and I was having a really hard time with that for a while. But my skin is super sensitive. Not everyone has that problem. It was just me and my sensitive skin. However, I've been good now. My body, I feel like, has adjusted to the heat and the humidity, and sometimes my lips and my body actually feel dry. I don't know how it's possible, but they do. I almost forgot. So because it's so hot and humid, plastic becomes so brittle it breaks. So anything that we have that's plastic, we have to get extra strength. For example, our clothespins. We got plastic ones I had brought with me, and just about all of them have broken. So we get extra heavy strength, heavy duty clothespins so that they last. So yeah, those are the things that we do to help with the humidity. I feel like getting an air conditioner would probably be the best thing that you could do. However, we don't want to pay for the electricity every month. And I have not been hot. I've not been so hot that I couldn't sleep or I couldn't function. So for now, we're good without the air conditioner. But yeah, those are the things that I've learned since moving to the Dominican Republic. If you have any other things that I didn't mention, let me know. Share them, and that's it. Peace out.
I'm doing fine, so ease your worried mind. Sit back and close your eyes. Yeah, this land is a paradise, and the people are so very nice. I'm happier than I've ever been.